Hidely ho there, folks. Hope everyone's well. It's me again. I'm doing a quick ramble before I head off to work. I thought I'd cover something that's been on my mind of late. Traveler. Now, I've talked about Traveler in the past. I like a good science fiction game, especially if it strays less towards the Star Wars end of the spectrum and more towards the Expanse, or even the Foundation trilogy or something like that. Something that's more classically science fiction. Now, Traveler is interesting because of a few things. One, it is one of the few sort of staunchly science fiction games out there, and because it has a character creation system built on the notion of doing randomized character creation, including randomized backgrounds, and famously you could die in character creation originally. I recently made a character in the newer version of Mark Millar's Traveler. So this is the version that is current that he has out. And I've also checked out Mongoose's version. They sort of coexist out there. And given having looked at the Mark Millar version and the Mongoose version, I have to say I like the Mongoose version better. Now, they both have problems. Randomized character creation, randomized background creation takes a long time, for one thing. And for another, it can generate some dissatisfaction with the character that you made because it wasn't the thing that you sort of thought you wanted at the beginning. That said, I think that what Mongoose does better is they make the rules much more streamlined, much more pulled together. The book is better laid out. It's easier to figure out where you're supposed to go. And that is a huge thing. When you have a super complicated character creation, streamlining the process in the book is a requirement. It's not even optional. And it's like the Mark Millar book didn't even give, data orientation a thought. Like, how do I make this easy on people? Well, they're going to play it anyway, so why should I bother? Feels like what they did with that version. So if I had my druthers of running a game in either one, if I had to run in either one, I would choose the Mongoose version, just because it's easier to navigate the book. The actual base mechanics of Traveler are really super simple. Roll 2d6, add a modifier. That's it. You're good. Do you meet the target number or beat the target number? You succeed. Have a good day. It's... I get the reasoning for it. In principle, having a randomized element to your background is neat. It doesn't feel like there's enough choice points to actually take that background and turn it into something that is intentional rather than accidental. So that's a problem. And ultimately, it makes me think that if I were going to do a solid science fiction game, Traveler probably would not end up being the one that I would choose to run. I don't mind playing it, especially once I have the character created. And certainly, playing with friends is playing with friends. That's always a preferable thing. But yeah, it's got the wrong things emphasized for me to find it interesting. I suspect that Fate will make a better choice in a lot of ways. It helps you with, I'm creating a backstory, but it's, I'm creating a backstory with my friends, rather than I'm rolling over and over and over again, hoping I end up liking the background that I get. I don't mind a random element as long as there's also some choice in there. They stray a little further towards the random element, and it's kind of frustrating. The actual gameplay, like I said, because I've played Traveler at conventions at this point, the actual gameplay is perfectly fine. I have no problem with the gameplay. The rules are simple and easy to use. I like game worlds. Gypsy Knight has an excellent Traveler background, Traveler world. The Traveler world that comes from both Mongoose and Mark Miller's setting are excellent. They're well done. They're interesting. They give you plenty of stuff that you could be doing. But if I were going to run a science fiction game today and I had to choose, I probably would not choose Traveler, which is a shame to me because it's a classic game. If I were going to run a fantasy game today, there's a really solid chance I would choose D&D just because it works. For that setting, for that genre, D&D is perfectly fine. It's easy to use. Anybody can play it. And it's a solid choice. But with Traveler, not so much. Depending on my intent with the game, I might choose something like Fate or Cortex or the Numenera based system, something like that. I might even consider doing a variation on the system, Chronicle system, which is used in the Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game. Just because I like the notion of, instead of doing a house management aspect, have it be a ship management aspect. And you guys could be traveling on your ship through the spaceways and, trying to maintain your position in the universe, together. I think that makes for a good premise. But yeah, ultimately my thoughts are on Traveler. I like playing it more than I like making characters for it. And the making characters is the most rules intensive part, the part that is the hardest to do. And so I am less apt to recommend it to people. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Traveler. I will, I'm certain, get some flack from somebody about it, but it was on my mind. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share with people. Maybe even the people who will probably shout at me because I'm, not respecting Traveler's authority. Or, if you have the time and money, maybe go over to the Patreon. I certainly won't complain. But no pressure. I'm also not going to pressure on that. But I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.